Good morning, YouTube, and good morning to all you all in the YouTube world. It is a marvelous day to be waking up in. This is going to be another day of ecstatic and exciting enchantment, and I know that it's going to be full of thrilling adventure because we're getting into the vortex. We're raising our consciousness. We're increasing our awareness of all the marvelous things that are going on throughout this entire universe. All of the other galaxies are full of this love and joy and happiness and ecstatic enthusiasm and thrilling enchantment. It goes throughout this vast universe, trillions and trillions of miles, and we're raising our consciousness of that and allowing all that abundance to come to us, allowing all that abundance to flow in through us. We're getting into the spirit of allowing, the spirit of attraction and the spirit of acceptance, and this day is going to be marvelous because of that, because we've got every good and marvelous thing is transpiring. And the world is changing. The world is growing into a more prosperous, abundant world, and we are feeling more prosperous and abundant every day because we're learning more and more about getting into the vortex. And every day, as we study the pages of this book, wonderful book, Getting into the Vortex by Esther and Jerry Hicks, which really it does what it actually does is. Let me get this one. What that book actually does is it takes this thicker book that's got about 600 pages in it, of just 600 pages packed of just wonderful material by Ernest Holmes, and then there's also a course that goes with it, which I've taken and everything, and which has about 6 or 7 or 8, if I remember right, notebooks full of tests and questions and condensations and every kind of help that comes with this textbook, so it's an entire course called the Science of the Mind from the Institute of Religious Science. But what this book, Getting into the Vortex, does that's so wonderful is it takes all that material and condenses it down into a easily understandable small book of only about 140 pages, and each page is just kind of like a devotional, just a short devotional that just gets you in tune with the vortex, and it just in a little short form. You get the gist of everything that's in a lengthy Science of Mind course that you may have to pay quite a bit of money to get. And so I'm excited about that, and it's just a totally indescribable feeling to realize what all that we have going for us in these areas, and what all we have to look forward to as we begin to move more and more into these exciting things. It's a totally indescribable feeling to know that you have raised your consciousness above the mundane, mortal, limited way of viewing abundance, and now you're realizing the magnificent and totally unlimited nature of this universe, and all the totally ecstatic, enchanting adventure that is all throughout this universe and is ready to flow into you and through you and ready to flow out of you into other people and helping other people, and we can become a river to flow all that to other people, and we can lift other people up into that same enthusiasm and enchantment and thrilling, and that is just so wonderful to know that river flows out of us into other people, and it just could literally fills them with joy to overflowing and gives them the ability for prosperity and the ability to move into the law of attraction and the law of acceptance in their own lives, and just can literally totally rejuvenate a person's life and cause them to achieve wealth like they could never believe they could ever achieve. And so it's just such a marvelous thing. You realize that you are beginning an endless expansion of joy happiness, consciousness, creativity, awareness, and intelligence. And you're going on, you're going on to a journey of just endless intelligence and endless ecstatic of joy and happiness. And every step of your increased awareness and expanded consciousness will be followed by another stage and door. You don't get to the end of it. You just get more marvelous. It just gets more marvelous. You get to another marvelous door. On that door, it says marvelous enchantment, marvelous excitement, and marvelous adventure, and marvelous enthusiasm. You open that door, and you see all these marvelous things of marvelous, enjoyable, enthusiastic, ecstatic adventures. And then you think, well, that's got to be all of it. But then you see another door. It says even more marvelous, enthusiastic adventures and ecstatic enjoyment and thrill. And you go through that door, and your life is just full of that. Every day it's like that. Every day another door. You get moved more and more into joy and happiness and thrilling. And pretty soon you've got abundant health. Pretty soon you've got abundant energy. Pretty soon the wealth is flowing from you like water. Oh, it's just a marvelous thing. You Niagaraing the peace and the happiness is just Niagaraing out of you. Just like Niagara Falls with all that force that's coming down. You've got all of that flowing through you and all of that flowing out of you. And then that will further increase your spiral upward. Another stage and another door is coming up. It'll increase your spiral upward into all joy and abundance. Each stage is going to speed up your rate of ascension geometrically. Let us then, not to go too fast, let us then actively begin to look for that next door in this infinite upward spiral that we are beginning. Look for that next stage and that next door. Raise your consciousness and awareness to see it. What we can know and realize right now is awesome and unlimited. And it's never going to stop being more and more awesome and more unlimited. Being aware of one infinite truth aids greatly in discovering the next truth that's behind that. There's a truth behind that and a truth behind that. And as we begin to, just like, you get on these pages of this book and you master one page of this book, and that just aids in discovering more and more truths begin to come right behind that. And each page, you learn new truths, and new truths come behind it. New truths from outside the book and from other areas and from your own meditation come because you've read the pages of that book and you've mastered the truth on that's on the pages of that book. And so even though it's 140 pages, it's like 140,000 pages because mastering the truth on one page, opens up 100 doors of other blessings that's going to come straight to you through direct perception from infinite mind. And you're not even going to have to read the words. It's going to flood into your mind. And you're going to feel it coming in just like a Niagara. And so being aware of one infinite truth greatly discovers aids in discovering others. So we must put effort into seeking out these truths. We should seek out these truths. That's the reason why you study the initial material, but so you can get all this going. We can truly grow into a place where we totally transcend all mundane, limited, and mortal things. And never let yourself backtrack into mortal, limited thinking again. Keep yourself continually moving upward. It will go faster and faster each day. You'll spiral upward more and more every day. More and more will be there. And pretty soon you'll find yourself not even wanting to go back into mortality, not even wanting to go back into your limited ways of thinking. All these limited things that you think are what's bringing you happiness. Some limited form of happiness that only lasts for a few hours or a few days. You learned that you can not even desire that anymore because you've got such unlimited happiness that just goes on and on and on and on for day after day after day. And it's on an even keel and just keeps going upward, 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 better and better every day. Go through all the doors to the higher levels of consciousness. We can truly ascend above. Then we find ourselves ascending. You can't believe it right now, but you will find yourself ascending, truly ascending above sickness, limitation, lack, and anxiety. You won't even think about those things anymore. You won't even worry. That won't even faze you. The idea, you won't even believe that you ever felt like you would ever be sick before in the past. You won't believe that you ever felt limited in the past, or that you ever had any lack in the past, or anxiety, because you're just on such an upward spiral that you're looking way down there, trillions of miles down below you, down there somewhere where that old form of limitation and illness and sickness used to be way down there, but you're trillions of miles up above it. And so we can do that. We can actually do that. We can actually go, and I've got this illustration here showing the doors that you can go through. One door, and then as you go through one door, then you go a little up and down, find the next door, and so on. The world is much more complex and prosperous and full of love and healing energy and power than we can ever imagine. We can't imagine it. You've got to start on it somewhere. You got to start going through those doors, because you can't imagine. If you tried to stop now and imagine how full of prosperity and abundance and energy and happiness and joy this world is, you wouldn't be able to believe it. You wouldn't be able to you wouldn't have the capacity formed in your consciousness right now to even accept it all and believe how wonderful it all is, until you begin to open the doors of it and begin to climb in your ascension toward it. More and more into the vortex. And so the universe is far more marvelous than we can ever grasp, but we can begin to raise our consciousness to see more and more of it. And that's what we're going to do every day. We're going to raise our consciousness a little bit more to see a little bit more of it. And therefore, by this process of developing daily the habit of continually going through door after door after door, to higher and higher levels of consciousness, abundance, prosperity, health, healing, and joy become easier to see, achieve, and fully manifest. To ascend faster in consciousness, then, as I've said, you need to be ecstatically grateful for every stage and level you have achieved, every stage and level you have received, believed, and weaved into your consciousness. You have to achieve it, receive it, believe it, and weave it into your consciousness. Every day, weave more of it into your consciousness. As we raise our awareness to higher level of consciousness, every cell of our body changes with that and becomes closer, gets closer and closer to its original state of pure light. We get closer and closer to our original state of pure light, and that's really all we are, is light and energy. Everything else besides the light and energy and just space, it has been stuff that we have constructed in our own belief system, and we pulled all this other limited stuff around us and created this mass around us of stuff that is just really illusion. But actually, when we begin to wipe away, we begin to turn back all of that away, we see that we're actually just pure light, nothing but pure light and pure energy, and that's all we consist of. So let there be light. Let there be ascension in consciousness to our natural state of pure light. You need to start visualizing yourself as just a conglomeration of photons of light, just pure light, and it comes together in just one great light that shines throughout this entire universe. Your light can shine. Your light can become so powerful that other beings in other parts of the universe can realize your presence, and you're just one. You become just one big, humongous photon of light, and that's all we really are. As the cells become closer and closer to light, this naturally then removes all sickness and disease. So shine your light always. There's an infinite amount of light. There's an infinite amount of light available. It is all present and all powerful. All we have to do is receive it. All we have to do is get in tune with it. It's really already there. We just have to get in tune with it. And therefore, as we get in tune with the light, we begin to throw off all of this illusionary mass that we pulled around us, and we turn more and more into just what our native air, which is light. We become lighter, as some people have expressed it, and not just lighter in weight, but lighter in actual shining power. All we have to do is receive it. All we can we can lift our consciousness. All we got to do is lift our consciousness to it, and then it'll flood us and energize us and heal us and empower us. And it is a sad thing then that we do not spend more time in a receptive mode to begin to allow all this to happen. We need to listen for the light, that because it is abundantly there. And I'll get back on this some more on the next video.